Namaste and a very warm welcome to Beyond Borders with RJ Princess. I'm your host RJ Princess and I'm absolutely thrilled to be bringing you a very special episode today. This is actually my first podcast session after a long time and I couldn't have asked for a more insightful and illuminating start. Today we delve into the profound depths of Sanatan religion beyond the borders, exploring its incredible impact on science, economic modernization, and the enduring human values that define us. And joining us today, all the way from the USA, is a true luminary in this field. With over 2 decades of experience researching the roots of Sanatan culture and Hindu history internationally, he has dedicated his life to uncovering and sharing these ancient wisdoms. His work has illuminated how these profound principles resonate not just in history but also in our present and future. Please give a heartfelt welcome to Dr. Alistair Finch. Dr. Finch, it's an honor to have you on Beyond Borders Talk. Could you share a little about your journey and what drew you to dedicate your life to the study of Sanatan Dharma?
Thank you, Princess. It's truly a pleasure and an honor to be here. My journey into Sanatan Dharma began quite unexpectedly during my undergraduate studies in comparative religions. While I found myself increasingly drawn to the philosophical depth and the intricate tapestry of thought embedded within the Vedic texts and subsequent Sanatan traditions. What initially fascinated me was the sheer longevity and continuity of this knowledge system spanning millennia.
So, it was the sheer depth and continuity that really caught your attention from the outset?
Precisely. Over the past 2 decades, my research has focused on understanding not just the textual traditions, but also their practical applications and their societal impact across various cultures and historical periods. I've been particularly interested in how these ancient principles offered sophisticated frameworks for understanding the cosmos, human consciousness, and societal organization long before similar concepts emerged in the West. It's been a truly rewarding exploration, revealing a living tradition that continues to offer profound insights for contemporary challenges.
That's absolutely fascinating. Dr. Finch, your dedication is truly inspiring, as I know. One of the most common terms we hear associated with Hindu traditions, especially in the West, is Hindu mythology or Hindu religion. This often feels like it diminishes the profound philosophy and way of life. Could you shed some light on why Sanatan Dharma is more accurately described as a lifestyle rather than merely a religion? And why the term mythology might be a misnomer?
That's an excellent and crucial question, Princess. The terms mythology and religion often carry specific connotations in the Western academic and popular discourse that don't fully capture the essence of Sanatan Dharma. Let's start with mythology. In a Western context, myth often implies a fictional story, a fable, or something not rooted in historical fact or scientific understanding.
So, when we use mythology for Sanatan Dharma, it immediately puts it in a category of fiction, rather than something with deeper truth. Is that true?
Exactly. While Sanatan Dharma certainly has a rich narrative tradition filled with gods, goddesses, heroes, and cosmic events, these stories are rarely just fanciful tales. They are often allegorical, philosophical metaphors, or historical accounts interpreted through a different lens. They encapsulate profound truths about the universe, human nature, and moral principles. To label them purely as mythology can unfortunately relegate them to the realm of fantasy, overlooking their profound symbolic, spiritual, and philosophical significance. Many of these narratives serve as vehicles for transmitting complex philosophical ideas and ethical frameworks across generations. They are not merely stories, but blueprints for living and understanding existence.
That makes a lot of sense. It sounds like a disservice to reduce such profound narratives to mere fables. Now, regarding religion, how does Sanatan Dharma diverge from the typical Western understanding of the term?
Well, the concept of religion in the West often implies a defined dogma, a singular prophet or founder. a specific set of commandments, and often an exclusive path to salvation. Sanatan Dharma, however, is much more expansive and inclusive.
So, it doesn't have a single founder or a rigid set of rules everyone must follow?
Precisely. The term Sanatan Dharma itself translates to the eternal way of living, or the eternal cosmic order. It encompasses a vast array of philosophies, practices, rituals, and spiritual paths, recognizing that truth can be approached from multiple perspectives. There isn't a single founder or a rigid set of dogmas that everyone must adhere to. Instead, it emphasizes personal experience, self-realization, and a holistic approach to life that integrates spiritual, ethical, social, and even scientific understanding. It's a journey of self-discovery and alignment with cosmic principles rather than adherence to a prescribed set of beliefs. It's about how you live your life, your values, your duties, and your connection to the universal consciousness.
But then, looking historically, how has the knowledge of Sanatan Dharma been perceived in Western countries, perhaps even since ancient times?
Its perception has evolved significantly. In ancient times, there's evidence of trade and philosophical exchange. For instance, Greek philosophers like Pythagoras and Plato are believed to have been influenced by Indian thought, particularly in areas like transmigration of souls and mathematical concepts. The widespread knowledge was limited by geographical barriers. It wasn't until much later, particularly during the Enlightenment in Europe in the 18th and 19th centuries, that there was a renewed interest. Scholars like Sir William Jones, who founded the Asiatic Society, were instrumental in translating Sanskrit texts. This period saw the discovery of linguistic connections between Sanskrit and European languages. Figures like Schopenhauer and Emerson were deeply impacted by the Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. However, alongside this admiration, there was also a tendency to view it through a colonial lens, sometimes exoticizing or misinterpreting aspects.
And in modern times?
In the 20th century, the counterculture movements in the West, particularly in the 1960s, saw a surge of interest in Eastern philosophies, driven by a search for deeper meaning. Today, with globalization, there's a more nuanced understanding, though challenges of misinterpretation still persist, but generally, there's a growing appreciation for its philosophical depth and practical wisdom.
Given these long-standing misinterpretations, particularly the mythology label, what can be done to rectify this misconception in the West? Are we talking about legal mediums or other approaches? And frankly, who should take the responsibility for this task? Because it often feels like no one in the Sanatan society or globally associated with it is consistently stepping up.
That's a critical point, Princess. Rectifying the Hindu mythology misconception is a multifaceted challenge requiring a sustained, coordinated effort. It's not a quick fix. Regarding mediums, there are several. Education and academia, well, this is perhaps the most fundamental. Promoting accurate representation of Sanatan Dharma in academic curricula, from schools to universities, is crucial. This includes supporting research, translation, and publication of scholarly works that present a nuanced understanding of its philosophy, history, and cultural contributions. Academic exchanges and collaborations are key. Media and popular culture. That can happen by encouraging accurate and respectful portrayals in movies, documentaries, literature, and other forms of media is essential. This could involve consulting with experts on Sanatan Dharma to ensure authentic representation and challenging stereotypical or misinformed depictions when they arise. Interfaith dialogue, for example. Engaging in constructive dialogue with other religious and philosophical traditions can help bridge misunderstandings and highlight common values. Community engagement, like supporting initiatives by Hindu communities in the West to educate the broader public about their traditions and practices. This includes cultural events, workshops, and outreach programs. Legal mediums. In cases of deliberate misrepresentation, defamation, or hate speech, legal avenues can and should be explored to challenge and correct false narratives. However, this requires careful consideration of free speech principles and the specific legal frameworks in different countries. It's often a last resort, but an important tool for serious offenses.
So, as I've understood, it's a combination of education, media engagement, and even legal action where necessary. But you touched on the responsibility aspect. Who should be taking the lead here? Because, as you mentioned, it often feels like a collective silence or a lack of coordinated effort.
You've hit on a very pertinent point. For too long, there hasn't been a strong, unified voice. It's not the sole onus of any single entity. It requires a collaborative effort. Individuals, every person who understands Sanatan Dharma, has a responsibility to share their knowledge accurately and respectfully in their daily interactions. Scholars and academics, they have a crucial role in producing and disseminating accurate, well-researched information. Religious leaders and organizations, they can provide guidance and education within their communities and actively engage in public discourse and interfaith dialogue. The media, they have a powerful platform to shape public perception and should strive for responsible, informed reporting. There's a need for more Sanatan voices in media creation. Governments and cultural institutions, supporting educational programs and cultural exchanges can help to foster understanding on a larger scale. However, the challenge you highlight within the Sanatan community itself is very real. There can be a reluctance to assertively correct misrepresentations, perhaps due to a cultural emphasis on humility, a fear of confrontation, or simply a lack of organized strategy. This hesitancy can inadvertently allow misconceptions to persist and even grow. Overcoming this internal challenge, fostering a sense of collective responsibility, and developing a proactive, confident, and accurate voice is vital. It's not about aggression, but about confidently and articulately presenting the richness and depth of Sanatan Dharma to the world.
Thank you, Dr. Finch. That's a very clear call to action, emphasizing collaboration and a proactive stance. It's a big task, but certainly a necessary one. Dr. Finch, our time is drawing to a close, but I feel like we've only scratched the surface of this vast and profound subject. The insights you've shared today, from clarifying the true nature of Sanatan Dharma to highlighting its historical impact on global science and economy, have been truly invaluable. This conversation has been an absolute honor and a privilege for me. I sincerely hope this won't be our last conversation. Would you be open to joining me again on Beyond the Borders with me for more sessions in the future? Perhaps to delve even deeper into specific aspects of Vedic science or the philosophical underpinnings of Sanatan rich culture.
Princess, the feeling is entirely mutual. It's been an incredibly engaging and stimulating discussion. Your questions are insightful, and your passion for Sanatan Dharma is truly infectious. I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, and I believe there's so much more to explore together. I would be absolutely delighted and honored to join you again on your podcast for future podcast sessions. There are indeed many more layers to uncover, from the intricate systems of Vedic astrology and Vastu Shastra to the profound psychological insights within the Yoga Sutras and the economic models proposed for sustainable living. I'm excited by the prospect of continuing this journey of discovery with you and your listeners. Thank you again for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Finch. That's fantastic news. We'll definitely be in touch to schedule our next sessions. And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey on. We hope you've gained a deeper appreciation for the timeless wisdom of Sanatan Dharma and its enduring relevance in our world. Stay tuned for more insightful conversations. And until next time, Om Shanti.